Hey everyone, it's the Cinema Dude, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. This is the first video of 2024. I've been off on a break for a little while, but I'm back, and I wanted to show today what I just got yesterday, and this is the new Arrow set inside the Mind of Coffin Joe. So we're going to unbox this set, and so far what I've heard, and I'm kind of going to really dive into this, that it could already be set of the year, which is pretty amazing since it's 3 weeks into January. So let's hop right into it. So for those that don't know, Coffin Joe is a character created by Jose Macara Moranz, who wrote, directed, and starred in this series of movies from 1964 to 2008. Moranz was a Brazilian filmmaker, and these were the first Brazilian-produced horror films. Not in the sense of like a character that was his own kind of ideas and such. So in this set, the first one is At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. 3 years later, he comes back in This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse. The Strange World of Coffin Joe comes third. And that one is actually like an anthology one. And then he goes into The Awakening of the Beast. Then he goes into kind of a black comedy in The End of Man. Then When Gods Fall Asleep. The Strange Hostel of Naked Pleasures. He has Hellish Flesh. And The Hallucinogens of a Deranged Mind. And then finally Embodiment of Evil. So in this set as well, there is a new 4K restoration from the best available elements. There is a collector's book by Tim Lucas, Carlos Promedi, Jerome Rucker, Amy Voorhees Sears, Kyle Anderson, and Paulo Sacramento. There is reversible sleeves featuring artwork, double fold-out posters, and 12 postcard size double-sided art cards in this. So that is the front side, the back with the J card, and then it's just kind of the same. That's a little bit different on the back, and then again on this side too. So I was really looking forward to this one, and I got this one for my wife for my birthday. And so originally it was supposed to come out in November, and then they pushed it back. So inside, you also get kind of this cool thing on this side, like a Spider Woman, and the same on the other side. All right. So let's see how they have this. Okay, yeah. So we will go through. That's the last one. Okay. Second Possess Your Corpse. Let's see how they have them. Yeah, so they have them kind of a little different in here, but so right here they have At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, and then The Strange World of Jose Mocala Moranz, and then so it looks like that a definitive documentary on the life of Moranz, which life and work. There is also Bloody Kingdom, a first short film, Adventurous Fate and My Destiny in Your Hands, excerpts from early works. So that's on there, and then reversible sleeve. So So this is the first one, of course, At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul. And Coffin Joe, or they call him in Brazil, is Z do Caicauso. So Coffin Joe is an undertaker in a small Brazilian town, searching for the perfect woman to bear his superior child. Unable to conceive with his wife, he kills her and sets out to find someone else. Nothing and no one will get in the way of his quest to propagate his bloodline and Coffin Joe's only chance at immortality. Coffin Joe, let's see, it said, Marans made such a indelible impression as Coffin Joe that their names became synonymous, defying a military dictatorship and religious censorship to be embraced as Brazil's national boogeyman. So, and again, so there is that. And then here too, it has some of the art cards. And then there's like a little funeral card thing as well. And then the reversible art. So there's the first one. So again, Arrow starting off the year with, you know, a huge set. And then one that's like packed to the brims on stuff. We'll go with this one as well. And this one has This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse and The Strange World of Coffin Joe. So again, on this one, it's the success of At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul embedded Coffin Joe in the psyche of Brazil with his iconic long fingernails, his top hat and cape. Writer, director, and star Marans became the living embodiment of creation as Zay became both a cultural icon and anti-establishment hero, and Coffin Joe returned to screens. This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse sees the unholy caretaker back in town to continue his quest for the perfect woman, embarking on an even more brutal campaign of terror, aided and embedded by his hunchback assistant. And then The Strange World of Coffin Joe, meanwhile, is an anthology horror film hosted by Coffin Joe, featuring 3 short films directed by Marans, which featured a strange doll maker, a necrophiliac balloon seller with a foot fetish, and a psychotic professor involved in sadistic rituals. And then on here, there is archive audio commentaries. Let's see. There's a new video essay. There's an alternative ending for The Strange World of Coffin Joe. So I'll just show you the back of that as well. And actually, I'll go back to this one. And there's the extras on there too. So sorry for the glare. And then, let's see, kind of same thing. And then there's on the back for the other one. That should be okay to show. And then that one as well. And then there is the poster, which is the same as the front of the box, and then same thing in the back, and just covering up the top part. Okay, so there's that one. We'll go with Hallucinations of a Deranged Mind, and this also has hellish flesh attached to it. So that's the inside of it. Let's see. So this one in hellish flesh, Marans does not star as Coffin Joe, but as Dr. George Miras, a brilliant scientist but neglectful husband whose wife takes a lover and plans to murder George for his fortune. When the plot fails, the doctor is badly disfigured, and after months in the hospital, he returns with nothing in his mind but revenge. And then hallucinations of a deranged mind, a psychiatric doctor driven to insanity by nightmare visions of Coffin Joe trying to steal his wife, is helped by colleagues who enlist Moran's, kind of like a meta type thing, to convince the patient that Coffin Joe does not exist, but all is not as it seems. Again, there's the extras on there as well. And then you have that. And then that one. And then this one. And that. This one. And here's the cover for Hellish Flesh as well. So, some of these films, at least the first, like, 3 or so, were on a set by, I want to say Synapse, did a DVD set that was, like, the trilogy of it. But not has all these, and the ones that are kind of, sort of, Coffin Joe, haven't put in a set until now and stuff. And then we have When the Gods Fall Asleep, and Hostel of Naked Pleasure, and this one, it says continuing the blackly comic trajectory of the end of man, this rarely seen sequel, When Gods Fall Asleep, our messianic cult figure, once again played by Moran, sets out to right wrongs, expose corruption, and end the social unrest he sees in the world. In the strange Hostel of Naked Pleasures, Moran stars as a mysterious prospector of an isolated guest house where, on a dark and stormy night, an eccentric group of strangers seek shelter. Is the prospector Coffin Joe? Why do all the guests watch us freeze at midnight? Is the hostel even real? Only time will tell. And then those are the special features as well. So again, all of these discs so far have been packed with short films, with essays, with interviews, audio commentaries. So, I mean, just so far from what I've seen, it's going to take a while to go through kind of everything in here. And then here's that. There's that one. There's that. And then there's that as well. And then we have, let's see, this is The End of Man and The Awakening of the Beast. There's that. There's that one. And then with this one, it has sex, perversion, and sadism abound in The Awakening of the Beast as a psychiatric experiments on 4 volunteers with LSD and this surreal examination of 60s drug culture, which starts as a pseudo-documentary featuring a panel of psychiatrics and writer-director Moran's himself as a expert in depravity soon becomes something even more stranger. And that says, diverting from the horror towards satirical black comedy, The End of Man sees a naked stranger emerge from the sea to perform miracles in a nearby town and becomes a modern messiah whose deeds will affect the whole world, but things aren't as quite as they appear. In the face of military dictatorship and religious censorship, art was a revolutionary act, yet even with his alter ego, Coffin Joe, already established as an anti-authoritarian statement, Moran's was ever exploring new ways to satirize, confront, and shake things up. Be shaken and stirred by his brutal surrealism and vicious black humor. Again, there is the special features on there. And then, man, that, I gotta fall asleep. And this. You know, I do, you can comment below, what do people do with the art cards? All of mine just kind of stay in there. I've seen people put them in, you know, like frames and stuff like that, but for as much as Arrow gives, those that keep them up, do you rotate them out? You know, what do you do with those? And then the embodiment of evil, which is so this was, again, when we said the trilogy, this was the one that was in that box that had the first two, and then this one as well. And it says, in 2008, Coffin Joe returned to screens in Embodiment of Evil, the official third film in the Coffin Joe trilogy, which began with At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul and continued with This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse. Released from the mental health wing of San Paulo State Penitentiary after 4 years, the sadistic undertaker is back on the streets, haunted by ghostly visions and spirits of his past victims, but soon set upon the goal that sent him to prison in the first place, finding a woman who can give him the perfect child. Aided and abetted by his hunchback servant Bruno, this time nothing will stop the continuation of his blood. The incredible swan song for Moran's Embodiment of Evil was rapturously received around the world, assuming that while Moran's might well be mortal, Coffin Joe will live forever. And again, that's back. That's the front. And then here is the other part of Embodiment of Evil. And then that's the last one with all the movies. So 11 plus all of this, I mean, so far for what you get in this set, definitely a very good buy for the price. I think it's at like 100 or so, with at least 10 movies and all those stuff right there. I mean, that's a pretty good deal on the stuff right there. And then last but not least, of course, you get the book. And we are at 90 pages. So that is pretty impressive. And let's see, we have, so this is where the book, some of the stuff like the writings by Tim Lucas and Jerome Rutger and Kyle Anderson. And a lot of these ones are good, 10 pages or so each. So that's a good kind of look into it. And yeah, so I don't know if you can see right there. Let's see. There's the start of Tim Lucas's one. So really, really cool book. Again, 90 pages for a book plus this. Really, really cool. So I cannot wait to start jumping into these. Again, I've only seen the first Coffin Joe movie, so it will be really cool to see these other ones, and then kind of this other stuff that Moran's did. So, yeah, so I would definitely, let me go back to that. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube because of that. So, but yes, really, really cool set. I would, just by alone content, without actually seeing what else it is, you know, on the disc and stuff, but looking at what the disc entail and what just the breadth of this, I would recommend this just by then. You know, again, it's really cool that we are getting a bunch of these, I would say more world stuff. You know, we're getting Indonesian horror now. You know, we've gotten the Mexican set. We're getting this from Brazil. You know, so and for something that kind of he's kind of known. I feel like with Coffin Joe, it's like if you're taking a dive into horror, you know about, you know, the character and stuff like that. But then from an outside person, you might be like, oh, I don't know this or whatever. But then to see also too what Moran's is talking about in in response to the military dictatorship in Brazil at the time and stuff like that is really cool. So I would recommend this set. So this is inside the Mind of Coffin Joe. So far, the breadth of what is in here, like I said, and what you're getting, already jumping up top to the list for 2024. So that's a good sign for this year that we might be getting a lot of cool stuff. And so, because again, last year and the year before, just 2 years where we were great stuff we were getting. So thanks everybody for watching. Comment below if you've picked this up, if you are going to pick it up, what interests you of this box set, and so comment below there. Thank you again for watching, and remember, be kind and rewind. We'll see everybody later.